Subsidy cut with windfall. Government saves 1.83 trillion in 2 months. Lagos Ibadan Express will be ready next month. NNPP's BOT suspends Kokonso. Ogbuko is chair of new NDLEA board. CGN earns more than VP. Senate President says Ramfak. Stock market hits highest level. Why I won't beg federal government to release me, says Kanu. Governors lead APC battles in Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa. Expect heavy rains in Ondo, Ogun, Osun, 26 other NIMET alerts. And reports Lagos is 5th best African city to live and work in. Okay, which story are we starting with in the nation? Who wants to go first?
Okay, I have just a short story. We have the picture of the Minister Works, Dave Umahi, and he's on a tour of, the different projects. And he has said that the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway will be completed in September. He said that, but the interchanges the work on that will continue beyond September. And he explained that some of the reasons, or among the reasons for the delay in the completion of the road was funding, as well as payment of the compensation to property owners affected by the construction. And he also praised the contractors handling the road project, so he's for doing a good job. And he's also said that henceforth, roads will be built with concrete because of its strength and durability for up to 50 years. Yeah, and that's it really, to say that, by next month, we should be sure that the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway will be done. I think the Lagos inward, the outwards, they're still working on. So, okay,
so let me take the major headline. You want to go first? I
wanted to just give a comment. I traveled via that route, and I saw that Ibadan to Lagos is fixed, maybe up until this beggar place.
Lagos. Good. The federal government has saved 1.83 trillion less than 3 months after it stopped the payment on subsidy. According to the source, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, has briefed the heads of revenue-generating agencies on what the government plans to do with the savings. They said that the Tinubu's administration plans to save money in order to execute projects without relying on borrowing. So they're not going to be waiting to borrow from any international organization. They're hoping that this revenue they got from the savings will be able to use for other infrastructural development. Also, they also agreed at the FEC meeting that the president told his ministers that his administration will rather create a stable macroeconomy environment than borrow money to implement projects. So these savings, obviously, the government is telling us that they hope to use it for proper infrastructural development of the nation rather than borrowing.
Yes, NIMET, which is the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, has predicted that there will be thunderstorms and strong wind within the next 3 days. It highlighted that 26 states and the Federal Capital Territory would be witnessing these heavy thunderstorms and that we should prepare. We were seeing that a few days ago, we had a representative from NEMA come to speak with us, stating that they are ready for this outpour of rain, and really just to sensitize the populace, stating that there will be some thunderstorms according to NIMET, and that we should get prepared for the coming days.
So I just wanted to make a comment that sometimes when we hear this, do we also ask, like, how does this affect aviation, transportation as well? Do they come together to have a conversation?
How is affecting real estate? Because we thought we would have August break and be able to do buildings, but we didn't have any August break this year. This August, there was no break. Okay. It was raining all through August. So agriculture too is being affected. All right. CJN, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, and as well as they say they earn more than the Vice President, Senate President, says Ramfak. So Ramfak is responding to the clamor for judges to get more pay. We remember that the NBA chair, I want to be sure, is the president of the NBA came on our show, spoke about it. The president mentioned that we know that it hasn't been reviewed since 2007, and there will be a review. But even based on the current earnings of judges, their salary is more than the vice president's salary. Their salary is also more than the Senate president's salary. So the NBA proposed a 200% pay rise for jurists, which includes our judges, while the Ramfak are hinting towards the 114% pay rise that is being recommended by the Commission for public office holders. And they broke down the fact that they understand the NBA had dropped a document stating that Nigeria as a country pays the least to judges across Africa, and they detailed what other judges across Africa are earning. So they also mentioned that you cannot expect the judges to be independent when they are not financially independent. It can't work. So we're hoping that with this increase, when it comes up, it will affect the judges as well. But we realize that judges their only source of income is salary, while for lawmakers and other people, they hear that there are other ways they have compensations. And
even if they earn more than the president or the vice president or the Senate president, it shouldn't matter, because we need them to actually
be independent.
Very fully independent. Yeah. So be it. Moving on now to the Punch. Few queues hit Lagos, others as thieves vandalize pipelines. Lagos-Ibadan Expressway FG plans September inauguration. I never diverted local government funds of 10.8 billion bailout, says Governor Abiodun. Man unleashes dog on policeman to evade arrest. NNPP divided over Tinubu Atiku factions, suspend Kwankwaso and others. Niger, Algeria demands 6-month transition from junta. And Cameroon dam opening 700 billion naira CBN farmers loan under threat in flood states. Okay, let me start with the Niger. So the Algerian Foreign Minister Ahmed Attaf on Tuesday said that the country is proposing an initiative to resolve the political crisis going on in Niger. According to them, they are proposing a 6-month transition plan as opposed to what the junta had requested for 3 years. And they're also saying that as part of the initiative, they're going to be seeking United Nations Conference to restore constitutional order, propose guarantees for all sides in the crisis, and host a conference on development in the Sahel region as soon as the agreement is made. The Attaf himself was recently at the West African states. Most of the countries we have talked to are against military action, and they're all in support of democracy and support of the deposed governor and president. Leaders of the Economic Community of West African states have also agreed that democracy should be restored within the shortest period of time, and they cannot accept junta's request of 3 years transition. Okay, thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. Any story in Punch?
Yes, so yesterday I took a story where the chairman of Ijebu East local government area of Ogun State, Mr. Wale Edun, had alleged that the current governor of Ogun State had diverted about over 10 billion naira bailout funds that was meant for local government. And then the governor has responded in a statement by his chief press secretary. He said that local government fund is being, first of all, of course, he denied the allegation. And then he says the local government funds is being handled by the constitutionally recognized Joint Account and Allocation Committee, that's JAC. And he says JAC members ensure that council chairmen get the required allocations for optimal performance. He also added that over 5 billion was shared among 20 local government areas in the state at the JAC meeting held a week ago. He said between May 2023, when the governor was sworn in for second term, and July 2023, JAC shared among 20 local governments. One was a little over 4.5 billion naira, and another a little over 4.4 billion, and then another 4.497 billion was shared respectively on the first line charges, and just last week, another 5.2 billion was shared among the local governments for the month of August. And, you know, just his own response to that allegation. And he says that JAC has the mandate to meet every month to ensure that allocations to local governments are discussed and properly presented for fund allocation.
Okay, so I have the story of the man who unleashed dog on policeman to evade arrest. So the man's name is Gabriel Olayiwola, and he had had an issue with his neighbor and destroyed his neighbor's vehicle. And so his neighbor went to report to the police. And upon return, the policeman came to arrest him. But unfortunately, Gabriel unleashed his dog on the policeman. And the dog had bitten the policeman on his shoulder, and he sustained some major injuries. And so it was now a court case, right? And currently the man is being arraigned for allegedly unleashing his German Shepherd dog on the police officer. He was granted bail when they first went, but the court adjourned the case till September 22nd, 2023.
Please, we need to talk about the vandalism. So many people that live in Lagos yesterday, over this week, have experienced, even from the weekend, queues to buy fuel. Many filling stations in Lagos and Ogun were shut down. The Punch reporter said that they did not confirm the same information from Abuja, though, but a few filling stations had no fuel. That even most NNPC depots that you feel should have more supply are operating skeletally. That means they're not at full dispensing capacity. And this is blamed on we, the people, Nigerians, that are vandalizing the satellite depots. So there's fuel scarcity based on the fact that the depots have not been loaded. They've not loaded any products in 3 weeks. And the problem was from July, they had said they were having incessant vandalism, attacks on the depot, and so there was no loading, and that is what we are receiving, the effect we are seeing now. The managers at the Ejibo satellite depot said that they've raised alarm over the activities within the pipeline area. Vandals are attacking the pipeline. They also mentioned that Ipman satellite depot is also being constrained. So many of our depots, satellite depots, are being vandalized, and we're already spending so much on fuel. We are the ones now making scarcity happen, and we are the ones that would change it. If we want to even get security officials to start manning pipeline, as in how much will fuel cost at that time. And this is, I don't know, I'm trying to get what the government is going to do to ensure this, but they were like, there's no reason for this scarcity in actual sense. It's not a case of scarcity, but it is, yes, it's 100% man-made vandalism.
Okay. Moving on now to the Vanguard, how a federal government can execute roadmap for economy. Insecurity, we are discussing with bandits to drop arms, says Niger governor. Niger governor. Governorship Campaign Council, APC reverses, disowns list with Wike's name. 4.2-kilometer runway, FG votes 825.8 million naira to compensate Abuja indigents. Lagos Cabinet Obasa eyeballs Sanwo-Olu over uncleared nominees. Banks, insurance firms, others contribute 1.72 trillion to economy. And Zenith Bank names Juliet Ehimwan, non-executive director. Okay, Hurricane Wike is at it again. So the Minister of FCT, Wike, has resolved months-long disputes regarding the establishment of a second runway for the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. If you recall, then the indigents there had revolted, saying that resisted the government from having another 4.2-kilometer runway because they did not compensate them. So he had a meeting, a meeting with all the troublemakers within the community, and he assured them, in fact, he gave an immediate directive for their payment to be made, all the compensation. Secondly, he had directed the immediate payment of the 825 million naira in compensation to all the affected landowners. Speaking on the resolution, he said, we have been able to resolve amicably with the community, and contractors will now move to site. So the FCT, through the FG, through the Federal Capital Development Authority, FCDA, will release the money approved for compensation and settlement of those who are there. So why would it take for a new minister to come in to do the right thing, you know?
And then you just call them troublemakers. Meanwhile, you've not paid your own, you've not
done your own part.
Yeah.
Yes, so Niger State, the governor is yesterday talking to journalists. He had gone to Abuja to meet with the Minister for Information and National Orientation, and also with the president. And he was talking to journalists, and he said that the state is in discussion with bandits, so that they have extended an olive branch to the bandits to drop their arms for amnesty, and we're discussing with them to see how we can solve the problem amicably. He says this is not negotiation. There's a difference. This is them speaking to them now, you know, and asking them, appealing, because for the security and peace of the area. But he's also saying that militarily they are ready if the bandits do not accept this olive branch. He also said that he was there to talk about how the state can collaborate or partner with the federal government to develop its vast agricultural potentials. He says Niger State has 8.6 million hectares of land, with 6,000 square kilometers of arable land and 4 hydropower dams. We're 10% of the total size of Nigeria. We're poised and positioned for agriculture in terms of animal husbandry, crop production, aquaculture, and other ways of food security. The Minister of Information on the meeting, he says that there are many other things that they discuss, especially with security, and that's not something that they can discuss on camera, but that these are things that they are looking to make sure that security is brought back in that state.
Our yesterday's hot topic about the frosty relationship between the governor of Lagos State and the Speaker Obasa, and the Speaker statement yesterday in reply to the question on why the State Assembly rejected the nominees. He said that the House came up with a resolution which the executive did not carry out. Nobody has noticed anybody, and that's what he said, that the things that they heard, the information that they have that made them reject the speakers, these nominees, is an information that they will not reveal, that they will not reveal the information, and there's no pressure that will make them reveal the information. He said that he is a politician, and he said, so I am trying to protect my party. I will continue to do that. We're not going to sacrifice service to our people in the name of technocrats. No. I'm wondering who our people is. Is it the political party or the people of Lagos? He said, we have said no, and it remains so. If there is any reason for us to reverse our decision, if there is a germane and convincing reason, I think we will, but not by threats. We are politicians. If not for us, technocrats will not be able to be appointed. It was due to our success that they got appointed. And to our estimation, if they have not done well, I think we have the right to say no. And we have said no. So that was me quoting our Lagos State Speaker, Obasa, and the some other lawmaker that were speaking in support of the stands by the Lagos House of Assembly said that there are some local government that have contributed a lot of votes. That Limosho contributed 87,000 votes, and Agege, Ifakojaye, Kushofe, and these areas are mostly neglected when it comes to getting commissioners and appointments. He also mentioned the fact that there are, it's not a battle for supremacy or anything, that this is not a fight, it's not a decision regarding whether we are a citizen or not a citizen. It's just that lawmakers need to protect the interest of the citizens.
Okay.
So I have the refuse dump on Apapa-Oshodi Expressway. We would recall how much was spent on fixing that road, and the Minister of Works, Senator David Umahi, visited Lagos yesterday and found out that the median is now currently used as a refuse dump site. Very gory and so irritating, and he was really, really disappointed in that, and he urged that Lagosians should take care and please do the right thing most times. And we see this not just on that road, in other parts of Lagos where there are refuse dump on the road as against doing the proper thing by bagging them. And he also went on to say that the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway would be finally completed by mid-September, which is a few weeks from now, like between 2 or 3 weeks. We hope that we can hold that because school is resuming and some of us ply that route to take our children to school. So I hope that will be sorted. Okay,
that is all we can take on Front Page Review. When we return, we bring in our sponsored segments. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.